here at Central Pennsylvania. Wind's gone, overcast. Yesterday we put the last coat of the resurfacer on the porch patio area here, and now as you can see, it sort of, from brushing it, leaves a little like burrs, concrete burrs. So what you do is just take like a floor scraper and just run right across, take them right off. Then you just sweep it off. Next thing you want to do is take your trowel, just run down the edge nice. You can even deburr the edge a little bit. Down the post. Now later, I'm going to scrub all this down, a little soap and water, maybe a little muriatic acid to remove this film. I've already got this stained and sealed so the concrete won't stick in, the color won't seep into the pores of the concrete. Now, what I'm going to do now is clean this up here, lightly scrape it down, sweep it real good, and then I'm going to duct tape it, and I'm going to catch up with you when we're ready to duct tape the edge of this along the front of the porch. As we did up here, I'm going to duct tape this off. Next thing I got to do is here's our water main access. Since I want to coat over that, I'm going to take some duct tape, run it across it, then I'll get my knife and just cut off the excess so I have it perfectly round. And then after I resurface, I can find it with the tapping, and then I'll cut it right out of there. I got it all cleaned up, taped off. Even ran a piece of tape along my new edge from this upper area. Now I'm going to mist it down. Full bag, what I had left from yesterday. So it calls for 6 pints. I'm going to put in 7 pints of water this time. You want this like a syrup consistency. And you got to mix it 3 to 5 minutes. Now, this time I'm going to pour it in 1 foot apart, roughly lines. take my normal wash brush here, start at the end, gently pull it. Now don't worry about that little crumbs on the top there. Like I showed you this morning, pull that right off when it dries. Yes, I'm doing it where it's a little bit wetter than normal because this stuff doesn't lay super even. So if you let it dry too much before you brush it, you can't control fixing up the slight irregularities in the top of it. Normal concrete, when it floats to the top, you got a different story. Okay, now, take my small trowel, come down along the edge here. Now, after I pull this form board off, when we're all done, I'll take some of this, mix up a small batch, and skate the front of the curb nice, all the way along, to finish it off. Your isolation joint, you're done. This took all of about half hour, roughly. Look at that. Zoom down in there so you can see that. See how nice that finished up. I will not have to put a second application on this one. This first one is just fine. I got this poured and brushed out. Problem is now, we might have some rain, and I'm not feeling that. I wish. If I got rain, and it wasn't supposed to rain today, we got a problem, because this is going to be a lot of money and a lot of time wasted here. So I don't know, we got to see what happens. Now, what I'm going to do quick while we're waiting, in case it does rain so the water flows off of here, is I'm going to pop our form off. For our curb. Form is off. Now what I'll do tomorrow is I'll take a grinder, grind this, whatever spilled out the bottom here, grind it nice, and then I'm going to mix up some of this resurfacer and hit it on the front edge. Nice, and then I'll cut my isolation joint 5 inches out from the edge. Morning. It's another beautiful day here in Central PA. We're on basically day 4 of our project. I pulled up the duct tape now and took down the barriers. As you can see, this is taken really well. Looks mint. Now what we're going to do, first thing today, is I'm going to cut off this leftover slag that's poured out of here with a grinder, with a cutting wheel. I'll show you that in a second. Clean this up. Then I'm going to snap a line at 5.5 for cutting our curb with our isolation joint. Then I'm going to recut up this middle isolation joint up through here. Then I'll grind down the edges just a little bit on either side. I got my Makita grinder here with a 4.5 inch DeWalt cutting blade on it. This is to cut concrete, not grind it. The grinding wheels are a little thicker, as we used in the beginning. Just going to push the button in here. Tighten that on there. Okay, what I did was use the grinder as I showed you. Took a brick masonry chisel and then just cleaned it all off like this. All the way down. If you're using one of these chisels, make sure your bevel is facing out, not in like this. When you're doing something like this. I also used the grinder to cut off our pipe. And now, as I said, after I cut this and I go to mix up our other batch, I'm going to come back and I'm going to take a small masonry trowel and I'm going to put duct tape on here first and then come right along here and trowel on a small smooth layer and fill this all in so it's done nice, and then brush it out when it sets. Now, what I've done is I removed the guard from my grinder. Simple Phillips head screw. I did that so I could get down in here with a straight angle and cut off my pipe. And now while I got it off, I'm going to come through with my, I've changed the blade to a diamond blade now. Diamond blade is a much stronger blade used to cut concrete, tile, any of that porous substance material. I'm going to run it nicely up my isolation joint that I made with the trowel the other day. I'm going to do that to clean it up nice, and then when I change back to my grinding wheel, I'm going to grind just a nice slight beveled edge right along there. Now with this, I'm going to wear a mask because the diamond wheel is going to create a ton of dust. And we'll get this done. Made a nice clean break along there. Again, it looks like we just poured fresh concrete here when in fact all we did was patch and resurface it. I'm going to take this quickly and now go up this side. Going to remove a guard off something, be very, very careful. Okay, the guard's there for a reason, and I will be putting the guard right back on here before I go grind my edges. I just did that to get a nice straight cut because with the guard on, it would hit on here and it would cause it to bevel in a little bit. I'm just going to take this, I'm going to put a slight bevel on the edge of this nice, clean it up a little bit. Now, a lot of guys would say, why don't you use a finished edge trowel on this? I decided not to do that so it fits in, so it doesn't look too new. Yes, the surface looks good, but I made that call. I could have troweled my edges and my joint, but even with the joint, it's kind of rough with this resurfacer because you're only dealing with a 1/16 of an eighth of an inch. And when you use that the edging trowel, you need some meat. And a lot of times when you pull it off, it'll scrape down to the original surface. I'm going to sweep this off, snap my lines, cut our joints. Now, I'm going to maintain the distance of this original width curve here, roughly. From the front, it's 6. 6-inch mark there. Mark there. Take my chalk line, hook that sucker on. Wrap it tight. Now, our curve that was once all squishad, messed up like that, will now look uniform. And we didn't even have to pour a whole new curve. Now, this time, I'm not going to use a circular saw here. I'm going to use a mini circular saw. It's a Versacut saw from Rockwell. I love this saw. And once it's pushed down, I have a diamond blade on this as well. It'll cut a nice line through there, and then I'll probably take the grinder and make it a little wider. I haven't decided yet. We'll see. This also has a laser on it. I don't need it for this process, but this is one handy, powerful saw, little saw. And it will cut through this concrete, no problem. Now I could use my circular saw with another blade, but with a masonry blade in it, I'm choosing not to. See that cut through there like butter. Okay, it's a wrap. Now, I like the line. It could be a little thicker, but I'm going to let it go with that. I'm happy. Now, if you have an air compressor or whatever, always blow off your tools when you're done. If you don't, just make sure you clean them off well. Tools are expensive, and you want to take care of them. Now what I'm going to do, get my chalk line and come down here. And pretty much, I'm going to do this by eye now. Spot. Now, I'm not going to cut into my curb area. I'm going to start here and work my way up. And to do that, I'm going to plunge the saw. In other words, set it up here where I want it and then plunge down so that the blade doesn't cross over. Come back, put my diamond blade back on. I'm doing that because it was also a very big isolation joint between the concrete below it. And I don't want the sides to break off too much. I'm happy with that. I get the ladder out, 24-foot extension, excuse me, and get up there and disconnect this old gutter and a leader and bring it right down again. So hopefully I can wrap this up today. Touch up my black at the end, put black out the water meter, we'll be good to go. Washed and cleaned up. I still have yet to come back. I ran out, I don't have enough. I have to come back and parge the front of this curb, and that'll be done. But I'm gonna, right now I got my 24-foot fiberglass ladder set up, and I gotta go up there and I'm gonna drill out the old rivets that are riveting the leader pipe elbow to the gutter so that I can pull this old gutter out, old leader out. So I'm going to pop the old leader out, drill out the rivets, and then we're going to redirect it, bring it down into our pipe, and then screw it with some gutter screws at the joints, hold it in place, and then put some straps on it to the existing house. I'm using a Rockwell Thrill. This is an incredible drill. It's for drilling, screwing. It's all 3-in-1 with an adjustable easy access in the bits. Done. Love it. It's lighted if you need it in a darker space. This is an incredible tool. The charge is great. To the elbows, it's a 90-degree elbow connected up here with rivets. Just going to drill them right out. Voila. just loose fitting that so that I can get an idea here. Now, what I think I'm going to do, what I have to do, notch this out here. Don't want to do that, but I'm going to see if I can get it close enough with the other section. You're good to go. Okay, now. See, that fits down perfect in there. I'm not going to jam it all the way down. What I may end up doing is actually getting a clamp. We're making a nice strap. Pull this back plumb. However, I'm going to use this section. Fit it in the top and see where we fall here, because now you can see up close the rivet holding this strap on, and then the other rivet that was holding the pipe together. Take this, take it right off. Believe it or not, that little edge from the trim piece around the porch column is actually pushing me, like I thought it would, perfectly almost plumb this way. Plumb means level, this way. I'll probably just put a strap right there. Roughly 2 feet. Okay, I'm going to take this now, the leader, mark my 2 foot, over here to the curb, got a metal cutting blade. My reciprocating saw. Ta-da! Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go up there, drill some fresh holes, put some Phillips and gutter screws in. Then I'm gonna reuse one of these straps. Where I want it. I want to keep this plumb like this. So another strap will do that. And I got an extra one left. I got the 6-foot extension ladder now. I'm going to go up and see if I can get this bracket to fit right here. I want 2 of them on there to lock it in good. Then I'll go back and I'll show you. I'm going to drill some holes, lock these gutter leader pieces all in. Then I'm going to go up there with some gutter seal around the top and where the one fitting went in. I just want to make sure that this is commercial sealant that I use and it locks everything in. I'm going to go down with male feed, came through from the main gutter itself to the leader, to the elbow, and seal that up too. See? This one's too short. So I'm going to have to pick one up at the hardware store. Unless I put it right here. You know, I'm thinking that's what I'm going to do. Go. I'm going to be using my Hitachi drill for this with an 1/8" titanium bit in it, because this particular drill, you have to have special drill bits for the Rockwell that'll fit in with this shank right here, with this shaft. I don't have the 1/8" bits for that. I have the larger ones, but not the smaller ones. So, one hole, good enough. Got my aluminum pan heads. Lock together. I'll do the same all the way up. Okay, see that? She ain't going nowhere. Now, let's straighten that out a little bit. put 2 in that one. I want it to hold it tight. All right, that's all done, screwed off. Now I'm going to take some micro gutter pro sealant. That, even though the fitting is male, it's a female, and water always finds its lowest point. In case you have heavy downpours, the water keeps coming, sometimes it feeds back up. This stuff works so well, and it's clear, you can't notice it, so just a little extra, and it sticks forever. Forget it. Forget about it. Now, knock this off, take a screw, stick it in the top, that'll keep it from drying out. That's a wrap. Now, our project's pretty much wrapped up. What I'm going to do now is mix up some 4000 mix. Come over here. And here's the existing hole that went into the current sewer system from our old leader pipe. I'm going to tap this and fill it all in with 4000 PSI mix. Trowel and flush. And then I'll restain it to match the rest of it. Now what I'm going to do this morning, just to wrap this up, is I patched the old hole where the original leader line came down to the sewer system. Just going to clean it up. Up my edges. Now I'm going to take a little bit of muriatic acid, clean up the stained walks. It'll take it right off because it's sealed and the muriatic acid will not go through the sealer. I'm going to clean up the area I just patched so that it's ready for restaining when it cures. We'll sweep this all up, and then I'm going to take my Rust-Oleum, put another coat on my pipe, and then I'm going to come over here and lightly sand down our water main cover and put a coat of black on that. And that will then wrap up our project. Took us a couple days, total hours overall maybe 16, 17, and we're done. I got to pull the duct tape off the back there, which I'll do now. That's that. This project is a wrap. We got her done. As you can see, you can do this at home yourself. On this show, we show you the good, the bad, and the ugly. No special sets, props. It is what it is. Thank you for joining us at Getting Her Done at Home. Stay tuned. I got some up and coming great shows for you. Full bathroom remodels, second and third floor complete remodels with master bedroom suite, interior doors, how to finish them, moldings, paint, you name it. I'm going to show it to you. From large down to the smallest minute, even refinishing some antique furniture.